But before that, it is clear that Andy Burnham is doing absolutely nothing to tackle the illegal migrant crisis. More illegal migrants have crossed the English Channel in his first week as Prime Minister than in Keir Starmer's first week. And I just want to show you this video. So that was reportedly taken on the 20th of June off the coast of Wissant in northern France. Masked illegal migrant men push a woman as she's floating in the water. Then they set sail for Bristol.
Originals, I'm Emily Carver. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And do leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
Presumably Andy Burnham and the left think that these are all poor, desperate refugees. Men like that are coming into Britain, probably as we speak, to be seeded around all of our communities. Then just take a little look at this. The largest migrant boat in history arrived in Britain last week. About 165 people were on board. And let's have a little look at this, shall we? An article from just a few days ago about the Iranian terrorist regime smuggling people to Britain on small boats to carry out their bidding. And there is a quote in the article from an Iranian official saying that they get these people to Britain on the promise that they will act as sleeper cells when the time comes. In recent days, we've seen illegal migrant activity in Dunkirk, Wissant, Boulogne-sur-Mer, and as far down as Dieppe. This is a multi-pronged invasion. Andy Burnham has barely said anything about this.
The unspoken realities of the new power shift in Westminster has spun on its axis yet again. And while the official press releases paint a picture of seamless transition, the underlying tension in Parliament is reaching a boiling point. The rapid changing of the guard at Downing Street has left the nation asking serious questions about stability, authority, and who is truly running the country. Before we dive into what is really happening behind closed doors, welcome back to Britain Underneath, your home for the sharpest, unvarnished political clarity in the country. Take a breath, stay informed with us, and if you value accurate, deeply researched insights, please subscribe to the channel right now. Your support genuinely helps us grow and continue uncovering the truths that others prefer to gloss over. Now, let us examine the reality facing the new administration. Stepping into number 10 under the gaze of a deeply sceptical electorate is no easy feat, but the silence on core national concerns is rapidly becoming the main story itself. From the corridors of the Home Office to the public discussions taking place across northern communities, the pressure on the leadership to address both legal and irregular migration is mounting to unprecedented levels. In recent days, reports from coastal waters and legal tribunals have highlighted a system that appears increasingly stretched, with tribunals citing individual family circumstances under international conventions to halt removals, while critics argue that the overall strategy lacks clear direction.
I did say this to the BBC.
Under the current government plans, the suggestion is that people in this country legally, migrants might have to wait 10 years or perhaps more before they are allowed to stay. Will you carry on with that plan?
Well, that proposal has been under consultation.
And what's your view as the new Prime Minister?
Well, I come in and I am listening to people's views and we'll come to a fair resolution.
Absolute word salad. Total word salad. His spokesperson actually did say this earlier. I think the Prime Minister's been clear in recent weeks that immigration is an issue that matters to people. He's been clear in this reappointment of Shabana Mahmood as Home Secretary to continue to deliver the reforms needed to restore fairness to the system and get migration under control. Again, very clever wording that, isn't it, if you don't actually really want to do anything about it. In the last few days, we have seen attacks in Berlin and Paris. I would have thought that Andy Burnham would look at what's going on in the Channel and at least signal some sort of intent there to want to stop the boats on national security grounds. But no, nothing. So that's the illegal stuff. He doesn't seem to care. What about the supposedly legal immigration problem? Well, this is a GB News exclusive for you. A Bangladeshi man who overstayed his visa has now been allowed to stay in Britain because he had a child here whilst we were messing around and not deporting him. Sajid Hussain came as a student in 2012. He's tried and failed to stay legally several times by 2018. He then made an asylum claim in 2018. This was denied in 2023. But because he'd had a child here a year earlier, an immigration tribunal has just decided that he can stay forever because of his rights under Article 8 of the ECHR, right to a family life. What is Andy Burnham going to say or do about cases like that? Here's another one. An Albanian criminal, Shpesim Koka, has been allowed to stay in Britain partly because his daughter wets the bed, so it would be mean to deport him. The 38-year-old arrived in the UK in 2001, claiming to be from Kosovo, so he's lied about his nationality. He has criminal convictions, including a 2017 conviction for helping to launder more than £300,000 in drug money, for which he received 21 months in prison. In 2022, he was convicted for cocaine dealing, which is interesting because you would have thought the clue was in the name of Mr. Coker. He was jailed for 3 years. The Home Office has now successfully appealed the decision to get him deported, but it should never have got to that point, should it? What is Andy Burnham going to do about the fact that these cases keep on coming? The answer is, we don't know. And we don't know because it's not a priority for him. But I bet it's a priority for you. I tell you what we do know, though. Andy Burnham is now thinking of watering down restrictions on care worker visas. Brilliant. Nice one, Andy. The UK government admitted last year that it had lost track of approximately 150,000 migrants who originally entered the country on health and social care visas.
If you are enjoying this balanced, deep, analytical perspective, take a quick moment to subscribe to Britain Underneath and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the stories shaping our nation. The debate within the governing party is far from unified. While some advisers advocate for strict adherence to existing administrative pledges to combat human trafficking networks, backbenchers and reformist factions are openly questioning whether current policies are robust enough to deliver meaningful results. The contrast between official rhetoric about fairness and the reality on the ground has created an awkward dynamic for the leadership, particularly as opposition voices point to recent incidents across continental Europe to argue that border security is fundamentally a matter of national resilience. When a government chooses to handle high-priority issues with ambiguous statements and carefully crafted political jargon, it signals either internal hesitation or deep-seated disagreement over how to proceed without triggering a severe party rebellion.
Legal and illegal immigration are the biggest problems facing Britain right now, and Burnham is simply not addressing them, whilst hundreds of them waltz into the country every single day. My panel got Sir Jake Berry from Reform, Daily Express columnist, Carol Malone, a journalist and commentator, Benjamin Butterworth. Carol, I'll start with you. So Burnham is still evading the issues, despite the fact that in his first week, the migrant crisis has been worse than it was under Starmer's, and we've also had this threat from Iran.
In his first week, 881, Starmer's was 546, but 13,000 so far this year. His silence is becoming a news story now because it is so blatant and so obvious, and he's kind of subcontracting out responsibility for it by having a spokesman say absolutely nothing, as you refer to it, a word salad. But he says he's committed to fixing things. Is he going to push through Shabana Mahmood's reforms? The very strict reforms that just a week ago 80 MPs wrote to him and said they wanted him to kill off this plan. They actually said to him, they said that this is Mahmood's proposals. They said they were an anathema to who we are, what we stand for, and how we do politics, which is basically saying they want an open door policy. Now, Burnham not talking about this means that he either agrees with that, that's what he thinks, that's what he wants, an open door policy, or he's terrified to say anything in case the hard left come down heavy on him. Either way, if he waters down these reforms, his premiership is doomed. He will hand the next election to reform.
Jay, I'll bring you in on this. The migrant crisis has actually stepped up in the last week, and these people smugglers, by the way, and the illegal migrants themselves are actually not stupid. And they will be aware, I guarantee you, they will be aware that there is a new Prime Minister in Britain and that at the moment he is seen as a soft touch. They saw that with Starmer, with the Rwanda plan, and they will be aware now that Andy Burnham in the past has said that he will be willing to allow them to work before they've even been processed. So what does he have to do about this now? He cannot keep dodging the questions, can he?
Well, he can't. One thing we did learn from Andy Burnham today in the interview he gave is that he said, look, I was elected on Starmer's manifesto and I will stick to it. And the key plank of that manifesto, we all remember it from the election, was that Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, were going to smash the gangs. It's something they abjectly failed to do in their first 2 years in office. And I think I should be on Andy Burnham now to say, look, Starmer failed. You're the new broom. How are you actually going to change this? We've heard nothing from him. He's had a sort of nice 2 weeks of just giving away other people's money. You can travel cheaply on a bus. Actually, most people actually just want a bus, not a cheap fare. He's given away a bit of money on people's electricity bills. He's given away some intellectual property to Vladimir Zelensky today about how Britain builds drones. So he's given away a load of stuff. But actually, in terms of the tough decisions, we've heard nothing from him. And that is the job of being Prime Minister. He wanted it enough.
Yeah.
It's time he stepped up to it.
Yeah, I mean...
Stay with us until the very end of this breakdown to understand the full picture of how this impacts everyday taxpayers. We always plead and encourage our viewers to subscribe to Britain Underneath, because your ongoing viewership allows us to deliver high-standard, independent coverage without bias. Meanwhile, the economic pressure on ordinary households continues to build, compounding the sense of political frustration. While announcements regarding local transport subsidies or minor energy relief measures are designed to offer brief breathing room, they do little to address the broader structural challenges of persistent inflation and fiscal constraints. The decision to maintain or adjust visa frameworks in critical sectors like social care illustrates the delicate tightrope the administration must walk between supporting essential public services and fulfilling promises to tighten immigration controls. Every political choice carries a cost, and as the public watches these developments unfold, the appetite for vague reassurances is rapidly vanishing. The question that remains for the coming months is whether this administration can move past temporary policy adjustments and deliver the clear, decisive governance the country is demanding. Westminster thrives on momentum, but without a firm grasp on the primary issues concerning the electorate, even the most ambitious leadership plans can quickly stall out. Thank you for watching Britain Underneath today. Stay informed, take a breath, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss our next detailed look into what is really taking place beneath the surface of UK politics.